Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Asim. I'm working as DevOps engineer. Today I'm going to show you how we can set up the HTTPS on Jenkins servers. In my previous video, I've shown you guys how to set up Jenkins on Docker container. This is the second video, so let's begin. First of all, we are going to SSH into our server, Jenkins server. I'm using the MobiXterm for my sessions, so it is a very good tool. You can use that in your environment as well. So let me show you that we have one container running, which is of Jenkins. Okay, if I do docker ps-a, so this is our container, and if I copy the email address in my browser, you guys will be able to see the Jenkins up and running on port 8080. So let me log in into this particular server. So as you see guys, I've successfully logged into this particular server, and we are using the 2.2 or 4.5 version of Jenkins. So now I would like to use my DNS to access this server over HTTPS. So I'm going to show you guys my repository, and we are going to set up the Nginx Docker container, and we will be able to access this guy from HTTPS. So guys, let me I will put the DNS name Jenkins here, and I'm gonna put the A record of that particular server in my DNS. So you see this part is done. So if you navigate to my GitHub repository, I will provide you the link. As this is the second part, as I told you guys, we are approaching towards the CI/CD of Kubernetes with Jenkins, and we are setting up the Jenkins in a Docker container. So if you see this part, what I'm gonna do, if I go to Jenkins, uh, let me show you the previous commands. So okay, this is the previous command from which we have created the Jenkins server. So if I paste this again, definitely it will throw an error. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you one more trick here. I'm gonna remove the I'm gonna remove the Jenkins. So as we have using the persistent volume, our data will be remain saved here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the same previous command, and I'm gonna run the Docker. But what I would like to do now is I'm gonna create one more directory in that particular Jenkins, where I can mount my bin directory as a persistent volume in home, uh, Jenkins Okay, I put in previous, let it put the root. You can put the home as well. So let it put the root as for the similarity. I want to create one directory, Jenkins, and I want to create a bin directory, and I want to mount this guy with user. So I want to mount this with the USR local bin inside the container of the Jenkins. So let me copy this command. I've done the control C because I forgot the path actually. So I've done the echo dollar path. USR local bin, and I wanna do one more mount of the root into the root. But that is not that important. Okay, that's fine. Why we are doing this? Because the binaries which we are going to run inside the container will remain persistent even and if the container is died. So let's try that. See, it is it running or not? It is restarting. Okay, so if I do Jenkins ls, okay, bin is created. If I do the Jenkins bin, okay, so it is starting. We should remove it. Okay, I'm gonna rerun the previous command. What I'm gonna do is to get rid of this extra stuff. I'm gonna add it. Let's see our container is running or not. Okay, I wanna do the docker exec and directive into that particular section. I want to do the echo dollar path. I should do this in my okay user local bin. The path is there. So I want to remove Jenkins again, and I'm looking to rerun the command again. So user local bin. Okay, the path is correct. Now I'm gonna see the logs. What is wrong with this Docker logs? Okay, if we do this stuff, then Instead, what we can do instead of user local bin, I'm gonna use the other path available, which is the user bin. So if I do the remove again, let me remove the Jenkins and run this command and let it run without local. So this path is also available and see whether it is running or not. So it is still restarting and can we see the logs? User command shell not found. Okay, if I remove it, actually no issue with this thing. The thing I'm looking is that uh, I'm looking for the persistent uh, binaries. So that would help us to, let it rerun to make sure that the binaries remain persistent even the container dies. So it is not allowing us even with the user roots. So it doesn't really matter. So let's begin our continue our main discussion, which is with regard to the um, deployment of HTTPS on the with the Jenkins container. So we are going to set up the Nginx, and what you have to do is to simply copy this bash script from uh, from the A section of this uh, file and till sequence number 8. Okay, so I'm gonna create one directory and let's call it the scripts. Okay, and cd into script. Let it call it vim the next nginx.sh. So I'm gonna call this from pin bash as it is a bash script. So we are configuring the nginx docker container, and I've made this script for you guys to just, for the ease of use. It will create the self-signed certificate. It will create the SSL directory. Um, it will uh, access the Jenkins on this particular Docker container, as it is. I told you in my startup video that it is we are launching in the same network. So service discovery is possible, and you see in proxy, instead of giving the IP address of that Docker container, I'm using the Jenkins name instead, which is very helpful. For instance, if the IP is changed, so you don't have to worry about, because the port is going to remain same and the name uh, in front of name at the back end, the IP is rotating. So you don't have to change anything. For the name, here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna replace uh, okay, for the replacement I'm gonna use substitution. cloudallegend.com is going to be replaced with saklanmushtaq.com in this demo. So I'm gonna do this globally. Let it confirm saklanmushtaq.com. Okay, so that's all we need, and I'm gonna make it executable. So just run the script. press enter, enter, enter. That would be okay as well. If you want to provide the information, you can provide. You can use your own domain name as I'm using my own. So uh, it will fetch the container and everything. So guys, you've seen this is the HTTPS demo setup with Jenkins. These are the valid server, valid HTTPS. So uh, I will be come with the next part where we will be setting the um, CI/CD pipeline, or I will give you a demo with regard to the Tomcat server, how we can use that. And um let me show you guys the packages. In start, what I was trying to do is to just make sure that I want to use the bin folder as a persistent to make sure that if I install something, it should remain persistent. So we have two container running in our Cloud Agent network. So these are up and running, and Nginx is perfectly proxying the information to the Jenkins server. So if I do docker exec interactive with Jenkins, I wanna install some packages as well, which is for that I've also created a script which is going to install the AWS CLI, currently a kubectl. Currently we don't have installed in our Jenkins container. So if we can, as we mounted the Docker sockets, you see we are able to see these from inside the container. In my next video, I will show you that particular bash script, so you can use that for the installation, automatic installation of the kubectl AWS CLI, because we are going to definitely use the EKS cluster for our CI/CD. So we need kubectl AWS CLI command. In fact, we are also going to install the EKS utility as well. So for our, uh, EKS cluster for the integration. So thank you guys. If you like this video, please like and share. Definitely that would help me to create more videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.